Welcome to the Love broadcast. This is our number 3 of 4 in a series of love-focused broadcasts to support you during this month of September 2017 and beyond. My name is Heather Christian Strang. You can call me Christian. I'm a mystic and a spiritual guide. I think I'm going to start calling myself an accidental mystic, because if you know my story at all, you know that this was not at all what I had planned for my life. But here I am and here you are. And I'm so excited today to talk to you about a topic that I have been working with tremendously that has really supported my own personal love mastery journey. And that is how to bring the love when they want to fight. So this can show up in a variety of ways in your life unfolding. It can show up in your partnership. It can show up in friendships. It can show up in family. It can show up in organizations and governments. It happens all over the place, where there are those that want to fight and there are those that want to love. And I don't know about you, but for me, I would just kind of run into a corner and go be with the other people who wanted to love and just kind of stay the hell away from the people who wanted to fight. And we're at a time in consciousness where maybe you've noticed this, but it's almost impossible to do that because the fight literally is coming into all of our lives in a variety of ways and formats. So we're at this time in consciousness that is so pivotal and so momentous for all of us, because it is asking us, are you ready for this? Maybe you've noticed this. It's asking us to go into the darkness. It's asking us, it's like a collective dark night of the soul. It's asking us to go in and look at pieces that we haven't wanted to look at, to really clarify and transmute aspects of our unfolding that maybe we thought we were long done with. So what you'll notice are themes of coming full circle, things coming back into your life that you thought and were almost totally sure that you were done with, that are ready for you to go into them. Not like, oh yeah, no, I know about that trauma or that limiting belief or whatever it is, but I'm just going to go over here and do this thing because that actually is what I want to do. We are literally being brought to these shadow, darker aspects, and we are being invited to go into them so that we can go higher into the light of who we really are, so we can go higher into love. Now, I will tell you that I was really not into this. So if you know me at all, if you've seen my journey over the past almost 8 years that I've been doing this work, my focus is on the light. I love the light. I love me some light all day long. I am not interested in the shadow or the darkness because, listen, I had that in my whole childhood. Not really interested in revisiting that shit. I did plenty of therapy. I did all my healing work, right? I'm good with that stuff. I don't need to go into the darkness. This was my story. And so imagine my surprise when in my own personal journey, when it came through that the next phase of my path was to be an embodiment of divine love. I was like, yeah, let's do this. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, it's amazing, except to get to love, guess what you have to go through? So now I know that doesn't sound like a really positive sell, but we want you to understand that this is like the nature of life. So there's no putting off that which you're here to experience. There's no putting off that which you're here to transmute. Now, we can certainly numb out and avoid and do lots of different things to try and distract ourselves. And maybe then we'll have to make our transition to, come back and try and do it again. We see plenty of people playing out these cycles in all different ways. But if you're interested, like me, and really getting it done in this lifetime, then that's really not an option. And because through my journey as a mystic, all of my addictive behaviors got stripped from me, thanks, higher consciousness, I had no choice but to feel things and go through them and show up for them. And I was so surprised that going into the dark actually enriched the light and enriched and deepened the love that I felt within. That just seems like, wait, how does that work? 2 + 2 = 10? How does that even happen? Except that's exactly what happened. So as someone who avoided the darkness and the shadow because I just didn't want to go there, I was good with it. I felt like I had my fill for one lifetime. I was literally being brought, like we all are, now at this time, being brought, we could call it lower forms of consciousness, but let's try and keep any judgment out of it. But being brought lower vibrating, I got to come up with a better way to say that, the shadow, darkness aspects that want our attention. And because I typically would be someone who didn't want to give that any attention, I would avoid it. And sometimes that's a way to go. And yet we're here. And maybe you remember, if you've been working with me for some time, in about the spring, we talked about there was a split happening in consciousness. The 3D and the 5D could no longer coexist together. When we're talking 3D consciousness, we mean physical only focus consciousness, like only what I can see is what's real. When we're talking 5D, we're talking about the consciousness of love, peace, and prosperity, the consciousness of source, that which is all that is at the core, that which is you at the core, me at the core, is really this deeper love, peace, and prosperity. And so we were all anticipating, at least from our connection with higher consciousness and what we were seeing that was out there and other people were experiencing, that there would be this split in the dimensions. But what we didn't anticipate, which is what we're experiencing right now, is that in order for that shift to occur, we would have to go through these darker pieces to get to an embodiment of greater light, an embodiment of greater love. So, bringing us to current day, what's happening right here, right now, you may find that there are people, places, and things, belief systems, fears, occurrences in the world that you are fighting with or are fighting with you. And so what do you do when before you is a person, an organization, an unfolding that wants to fight with you? A government, right? We could look at all different ways that this can manifest in our life's journey. Many of us are facing this, if not all of us are facing this in one form or the other. And it is an invitation to access a richer, greater experience of love and an embodiment of love and light within our own physical, emotional, spiritual bodies. So what do you do when you're faced with this? The first piece is that you're going to notice, as I did, that none of your tools will work. Meaning, if you've studied compassion communication and you've had attunements around relationship or all the various things that you can do, conflict management, mediation, whatever it is, you're going to notice, and maybe you've already noticed, that those tools don't seem to really work under the current conditions. Why is that? Because the only way to get to where we're being led to, the next unfolding, the next unfolding, the next unfolding, is through total love. This is annoying when your ego mind, which is just another label for your limiting beliefs, fears, traumas, conditioning, gets stirred up, right? Because when a person, place, or thing wants to fight with you and they're coming at you, that personality, that ego mind, those limiting beliefs and conditions often respond. And often it's an unconscious response. Spirit has literally brought me to experiences where I'm waking up, I'm becoming conscious like a few minutes into my unconscious reaction to that which wishes to fight with me. And I'm waking up, I'm like, wait, how did I get here? No, I'm all about love. What is happening? Who am I right now? How am I responding? Maybe you can relate. What I found is that all my training, which is beautiful, has got nothing on where we're actually being asked to go, which is to love. And so I'm going to give you just like an easy formula that you can use when you find yourself in front of a person, place, or thing that's wanting to fight with you. And you may even catch yourself fighting back. So the first piece is, as soon as you become conscious that you're fighting back, you want to stop yourself. Now, this is hard. Ego mind, conditioning, personality does not love this. But you want to stop yourself and say, I am so sorry. This is not who I mean to be at all. Just woke up in the middle of an unconscious reaction. Please forgive me. Let's start again. And then we're going to go into the next step. So if you don't find yourself getting unconsciously triggered, you'll just go to this step, which is to say, I love you. And I'm so sorry that this pain is coming up for us. Why don't we take some space to get clear about what we both need and then come back to see what solution comes forth? So then you take that time out. If the individual, organization, etc., insists that the conversation has to happen right then you're going to immediately need to go to the bathroom. You're going to immediately need to take a bathroom break. And then you're going to begin to do the next piece, which is to begin to call down blessings of the highest light for this person, for this organization, for whatever this thing is that wants to fight with you and that you may be fighting with. You are going to go into holy mystic. You didn't even know you had this ability. I literally have been walking. I will walk and just call on blessings and like beam love, like just wrap this individual, this organization, whatever it is, in so many blessings. You are calling down the highest light blessings so that this one can live in the love, peace, and prosperity that they're here for. May they recognize their divinity. May they experience the most incredibleness that exists for them in this in the body format. Like, you are going to just get after it and calling on blessings of the highest light for this person, place, or thing. You are going to call on Source, the Holy Mother, all of the deities that you connect with that have meaning to you. And you are going to ask that all that is supports this person, place, or thing in up-leveling and experiencing the greatest gifts and the greatest experiences that they can experience in this lifetime. This is so transformative. I have literally witnessed as a whole new chain of experiences and a ripple effect of events takes place from this. Now, here's a caveat. If you are supercharged, right? So you're like, okay, I'm going to take the space so we can come to the solution because I love you and I'm sorry and we're going to work this out. And if you're supercharged and you're like pissed and you're like, well, they're wrong and whatever it is that's coming up, then you've got a step to do before you go into calling in blessings, because it doesn't work to call in blessings when you're like super pissed at whatever it is. So you've got to clear the charge of your anger, your frustration, whatever it is. We encourage you to check out the JOG's Empowerment Guide if you haven't already. It's one of the best sets of emotional processing tools that you can use. It's totally incredible. Helps you work with your emotions, limiting beliefs, etc. in a way that does not weigh you down, clears the charge, allows you to move forward. So you want to clear that charge if you have any, and then go into calling on blessings of the highest light. You will get so amped. Like, it's so incredible what happens. And for me, I will just, be chanting them out loud. If I'm in this situation and I can't leave, right? I'm going to take the bathroom break for sure if I can and go into the stall and quietly be calling on these blessings. But if I can't do either of those things, I will just do it in my mind. And I will just start calling on Source. Now that's trickier because when you can have the direct focus and really, I've done it in my car. I gotta go take a time out. I'll be right back. Go in my car, calling on the blessings, shifting my energy, go back into the situation. We got a whole new ball game. Suddenly, there are solutions there we didn't even know was there. Suddenly, things are just flowing in a way that we didn't even know they could flow. And there's an expansion of love between you and whatever this person, place, thing, whatever it is. I'm telling you, this has been extraordinary for me because I considered myself I've got these conflict management skills, you totally navigate using NVC. Oh no. Spirit brought me experiences where it was yeah, that shit's not going to work. So you're going to have to do better than that. And where I had to go was to the deepest love and alchemical process. And so I share this tool with you. Please use it in your own life when you find yourself in a situation where people, places, things want to fight with you, whatever that is. If it's technology that isn't working out for you and is fighting with you, start calling on blessings of the highest light for the technology. We are being invited to go into a deeper level of our spiritual practice and our connection with all that is, moving us to a whole new dimension of how we show up for what's unfolding. This is a beautiful expansion. It enriches our lives in such incredible ways, and it deepens the intimacy that's there. So it's no longer like avoiding, because life, literally, this time in consciousness is bringing the fight to us so that we can show up for it in this highest light perspective. Now, it isn't about doing it perfectly. Nobody does it perfectly. That's not what this is about, which is why I said at the beginning of this, if you wake up in the middle of the fight, you're like, shit, I just really participated in a whole lot of drama. Doesn't just stop it right as soon as you wake up and realize where you're at. Stop yourself. And again, the ego doesn't love to do this, but I'm telling you, it is humbling, but it is enriching. I love you. I'm sorry. Let's find a solution here. I just woke up. I've been fighting. I'm so sorry. I just woke up in the middle of this nightmare. Let's shift this right here, right now. The power of source, the power of love can shift everything if we are clear and allowing it to do so. I hope you have enjoyed this love broadcast. Please leave your comments, likes before, share it with all those you're called to share it with. Use this as a tool in your life and let us know about how it transforms the fight in your life. And if you would like more of this, if you would like more clarity about how to live a life of love and how to shift your fear, balance your masculine and feminine, step into spiritual partnership, and get paid just by being who you are. We'll be talking about that next week, so stay tuned. Join us for Love Mastery 2017. We begin so soon. We begin on September 29th. We'd love to have you with us. We've got transmissions, we've got healings, we've got live time together, we've got daily meditations to support the collective. Like, we are going higher, and we would love to have you with us. The link will be in the information below. Thank you so much for listening. We love you so much and look forward to hearing about your experience with this practice.